I don't think anyone prepared me for this version of surrender. Because when people talk about surrendering to God, sometimes it's like usually described as this like beautiful moment where you just finally let go and now you're overwhelmed suddenly with peace. And if I'm being honest, that's not what this season has felt like for me. And I want to share this with you while I'm still in it. Because this isn't something that I'm sharing after I've figured everything out. It's not after I have the testimony with this neat little ending. I want to share it now because I think that this version of surrender is one that a lot of people experience, but it's not talked about enough. There are seasons where you are crying on the floor and you're angry with God and you're bargaining and you're trying to fix everything and you're, researching every possible solution and replaying every mistake and just kind of wondering if maybe you've missed something or made the wrong decision. And eventually, if the situation doesn't change, you just hit this wall. That's kind of where I feel like I'm at. And this wall, it feels like numbness. This is the important part of surrender that's not talked about enough, because I don't think what I'm experiencing is hopelessness. I think what I'm experiencing is exhaustion. And I think there's a difference, because you can only live in a heightened state of fear for so long before your mind and your body just goes, I cannot sustain this anymore. It's almost like you've spent months just trying to carry this weight that wasn't yours to carry in the first place. And eventually you hit this point where you just start setting it down. And it's not even like you have peace now or you figured it out, but it's just because you physically and emotionally cannot keep gripping the way that you have been. And it's a really strange place to be, because when you've been fighting for so long, not fighting almost feels irresponsible. Like, I remember thinking things like, should I be worrying more? Shouldn't I be trying harder or figuring this out? But what if there's just truly a point where you've done, everything that you can do? You've prayed, you've looked for opportunities, you've cried and planned, and you've tried to solve it, and you've replayed every scenario in your head, and eventually you just kind of reach the end of yourself. That's the part that nobody prepares us for, because surrender, it sounds beautiful in theory. In real life, though, it usually sounds like I don't know what to do anymore. I don't have the energy to obsess over this today. I still don't know how this is going to work out, but I also still have responsibilities and people who depend on me, and I still have to wake up tomorrow. And I think that's important, because surrender, it's not always this emotional moment where you're on your knees. Sometimes surrendering just looks really ordinary, where you just get up and brush your teeth and you're answering emails and you go for a walk and make dinner and you just kind of laugh at something that your daughter says and show up for work and I record my Bible study, and underneath all of it is this little prayer where I just tell God, I don't genuinely know what you're doing, but I can't carry this anymore. And I think that's why I've just kind of felt so blah. Because I'm not actively resisting anymore. I'm just in this waiting room. And it's very weird to be in a waiting room, because you're not where you used to be, but you're also not where you're going either. The old strategies, they're not working anymore. The panicking isn't fixing it. The overthinking's not solving it. My control isn't changing it. And the new thing that God, it just hasn't fully arrived yet. It's this liminal space, the wilderness, the hallway between doors. And I think the temptation in these seasons is to interpret, the absence of intense emotion as, this absence of faith. But I don't think that's true. Maybe faith in these seasons looks a lot more like perseverance, like it's not always going to be this passion. Like right now, my faith looks like I just make my coffee and I trust God anyway. And I continue to just show up when I don't have the answers myself. And I have to like actively choose not to spiral for the 100th time, because I finally realize that this fear, it's never really protected me. And it's like this middle space that's not talked about enough. You don't have the miracle yet and you're still waiting for the answer, uncertain how things are going to work out. And sometimes, like somehow you're still here making dinner, praying, opening up your Bible, still loving the people around you, and kind of forcing yourself to show up. And if I'm being honest, I think I'm just tired. Like maybe that's just what happens when you finally stop trying to control things that was never yours to control in the first place. Because sometimes though, like the suffering isn't hypothetical. Like sometimes you're not just battling anxious thoughts, like you're actually going through real things, real fear about the future. And I think that in Christian spaces we can kind of unintentionally minimize it by immediately jumping to, oh, just trust God. But I think the hardest part about this season for me, it's like not even necessarily the struggle itself, it's just like this apparent contradiction. Because if God had never spoken to me about certain things, like maybe this would just be easier to categorize, where I'd just be thinking like, oh, life's hard. But that's not my story. God spoke to me, and I believe he led me here and called me into ministry, and now I'm sitting in the middle of the season that just seems so opposite of what I thought it would look like. And I've had these moments, especially last night, where I was like, what the heck is this? Did I misunderstand God? Did I hear him wrong? Like I had this moment last night and I'm like, man, like were my experiences even real? Why would you tell me something that seems so opposite from what I'm living? And it's a really terrifying place to be, because it challenges your circumstances, but it also challenges like your interpretation of your entire relationship with God. And I'm just kind of like grieving the reality of where I am, but I'm grieving uncertainty. Because there's this version of faith where I thought that if God led me somewhere, it would eventually just make sense in this way that I could recognize. And now I'm realizing I have no idea what he's doing. And certainty, it feels really safe, but ambiguity, it doesn't. And maybe that's why this has just been so painful. Because objectively, I know all of the right things to say. I know some of the verses, and I know the encouraging reminders and all the stories of God's faithfulness, but sometimes knowing those things, it doesn't immediately remove the fear. That is surrender, where you know the truth, but you still cry anyway. You still wrestle anyway. And I've just kind of been finding myself where I'm asking these questions that I never thought that I'd ask out loud. And I'm like, I asked God, I was like, why do you answer so clearly sometimes? But then other times you're silent. Like, what makes you decide to respond? Why does one person, seem to receive immediate answers and the other person has to wait years? Like, what makes him answer? I don't know. I don't think God withholds because we haven't performed well enough. Like, that's not the pattern that I see in the Bible. I don't think he responds, based on whether we've been good Christians. I don't think he's waiting for us to earn his voice, because if his responses were based on human perfection, then none of us would even hear him. And the answer I just kind of came up with is like, I just think sometimes God speaks clearly and sometimes he doesn't, and I don't know why. And I think pretending that I have an explanation for everything would just be way more dishonest than admitting that I don't. I think that I've just been exhausted from carrying the burden of being the strong one, because there are people who look to me for encouragement and they, that expect me to have some answers. And some certainty. But if I'm being really vulnerable here, I've had those moments where I've thought, like, how am I supposed to encourage other people when I don't understand what God is doing in my own life? And I guess I just kind of thought that maybe like the faithfulness was this point where eventually I'd have like way more answers by now. But maybe that's, maybe that's not how it's supposed to be. Maybe some of the most powerful ministry comes from people who are just willing to say, I don't know what God's doing right now. I'm struggling, I'm angry, I'm confused, and I still am going to show up. I don't have everything figured out, but I genuinely don't know where else to go. And I think that it's okay to admit that sometimes we're just going to be disappointed, because reality just hasn't matched this picture that we had in our heads. And the disappointment, it really hurts, especially when it's disappointment that you don't really feel allowed to express. But I do know that God's not threatened by our honesty. I think about Job. God corrected some of the things that Job said, yes, but he also defended Job against the friends who tried to simplify his suffering. Job's friends, they had explanations, but Job also had honesty, and it seems like God values honesty way more. So no, I don't know what happens next. I don't know when this season ends. I don't know when clarity comes. I don't know why some things have unfolded the way that they have. And if I'm being honest, yesterday I was angry enough to yell at God. But I do think the fact that I'm still yelling at him means that I'm still talking to him. I'm just wrestling, and people wrestle. They only wrestle with someone that they haven't walked away from. The same way Jacob wrestled with God and walked away with a limp. Israel actually means the one who wrestles with God. So maybe this season, that God's trying to teach me is not about getting immediate answers. Maybe I need to just discover more on, strengthening my faith that needs to survive without certainty. Because I think almost everyone eventually reaches this point where the formulas stop working, and the encouraging verses don't immediately soothe the anxiety, and you don't have all the answers, but you still cry anyway. And so I had to really check myself and remind myself that the right question is, can I stay in relationship with God when he feels really quiet right now? Because that's where I am. I feel like I'm standing in one of just the hardest places a believer can stand, this place between promise and understanding, and it doesn't fix my problems. It doesn't answer my questions, because, I had to realize that there's a difference between walking away from God and just collapsing at his feet because you're too exhausted to keep pretending that you're okay. One of them's abandonment, but the other one is intimacy that's stripped of performance. It's this kind of intimacy that says, I don't have that emotional high. I don't have the answers, but I'm still here. And maybe this is what surrender actually looks like, where you don't pretend everything's okay, and you can't give up your responsibility or arrive at this perfect state of peace, but you just have to wake up every morning and say, God, I do not understand you right now. I have no idea what you're doing. I don't know how this story ends, but you know what? I'm here. And maybe for today, that's enough. So if you've ever found yourself in this place, I'd love to hear your story in the comments. If you're in the middle of this space right now, I hope that this reminds you that you're not alone. Because I don't think that this video is about teaching people how to get out of the wilderness. I think it's about sitting beside the people, who are still in it, and just say, yeah, me too.